I stood up at my wife's funeral and admitted that I was responsible for her death. It didn't matter what the truth was. The entire congregation stared in shock as I said, I was the one that failed her and forgot her pills that night. By the time I had gotten the right ones, it was too late. I looked over at a cop friend and said, I understand if you need to take me in. I'm fully responsible. The cop glanced around, unsure as to what he should do. Then he finally said, someone would need to press charges and no one has. Then my wife's father yelled out through tears of rage, I'll press charges right now. Fry that bastard. The cops took me away as my family members and everyone else stared at me with hatred, disappointment, and contempt. The only person that didn't look at me like the others was my little brother Freddie. He was special needs and didn't fully understand what was happening. I didn't know what to say as I was led out in handcuffs. My ex-wife's uncle came out and spit on me before I was put into the back of the squad car. I got charged with involuntary manslaughter, the accidental killing due to recklessness or negligence. At the police station, the officer asked me how I'd like to plead. I said, guilty. He asked me why I was so quick to say that, and I responded, I just want this whole thing to be over with, and I want my family to go on with their lives. The officer then asked, take me through what happened that night. I took a deep breath and said, I was sent out earlier that night to go and get her diabetic pills, and I stopped at a bar for a drink because we had been fighting a lot lately. I got hammered and forgot her pills. By the time I came home, it was too late. I saw her having a seizure on the ground and foaming at the mouth. She passed away right there in front of me. The officer said, I don't think you did it. I think you're hiding something. I stared coldly at him and said, we all have our opinions. A month later, a jury found me guilty, and I was sentenced to 20 years in prison. At the trial, I saw my little brother Freddie, smiled at him and told him to stay strong for me while I'm gone. I was his main caretaker because my mother had died and my father wanted nothing to do with us. I asked my lawyer, who's going to take care of Freddie? My lawyer responded, I think he'll be under the care of the state. My heart sank and I asked him, is there anyone there that I can speak with and explain his situation to? He has really specific needs and habits and he'll really struggle if he's not cared for properly. Please, I love that kid more than anything. Just set up a phone call for me, will you? My lawyer was surprised to see how much I cared and promised me that he would set up a call with Freddie's caretaker. In prison, I tried to build up a strong routine and I started counting down the days. I spoke to Freddie's new counselor and she seemed unaware and out of it. That really pissed me off because I needed to make sure that Freddie would be taken care of. Not one of my family members came to visit me, which wasn't too surprising. I kind of got used to the prison life. Up at 5 a.m., breakfast, then a workout, then read a book, then lunch, then a cardio workout, more books, then dinner. In bed at 9 p.m., get up and do it all over again. I mostly avoided any fights by walking away. If I had to throw a punch, I would, then just quickly cover up and hope I didn't break any bones. Day after day, month after month, and year after year it went on. I was a hardened man, but every month like clockwork, I would check on Freddie and make sure he was doing okay. I got reports and most of the time, I was happy with what I was hearing. Around year 7, my lawyer came to speak with me and said, you know, there's something about your case I've never been able to shake. I asked, what's that? He went on, you said that Freddie was at a friend's house that night, but we've never been able to verify that, and I never understood why you were so adamant during the trial that we didn't bring in anyone related to Freddie at all. I stayed eerily quiet. My emotions started to rise to the surface. He then said, you covered for him, didn't you? He somehow murdered your wife and you took the fall for him because you love him so much. I didn't say a word. I just stared at him and gave him nothing. The truth that I wouldn't tell a soul was, I did protect Freddie. He thought my wife was playing a game and he hid her medication from her. He didn't realize it would kill her. I got out 5 years early because of good behavior. I stepped out of that prison and I saw Freddie waiting for me. He ran over to me and threw his arms around me. I clutched onto him and said, I'm here for you now, buddy. I'll protect you. He smiled, touched my face and said, you protected me. Yes, you did. Part of me wondered if he knew what I did for him all along.